નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ 9th, Subject Science, Chapter 5, The Fundamental Unit of Life. Dear students, today we will discuss Golgi Apparatus. Okay, Golgi Apparatus. The Golgi apparatus first described by Camillo Golgi. See, Camillo Golgi discovered the Golgi apparatus. So that is why his name is given to the cell Golgi apparatus. It is a system of membrane. It consists of a system of membrane-bound vesicles. Membrane-bound vesicles means compartments. Membrane-bound arranged approximately parallel to each other in stacks, like a rod shape in stacks parallel to each other. That is called as a cisterns, cisterns. These membranes often have connection with the membranes of endoplasmic reticulum, and therefore constitute another portion of the complex cellular membrane system. The material synthesized near the is packed. See, whatever the material is preparing or synthesizing near the means endoplasmic reticulum is packed and dispatched and supplying to various target specific areas inside and outside the cell through the Golgi apparatus. Okay, its function include what are the functions include storage, modification, altering, and packaging of the products in the vesicles or in the compartments. In some cases, complex sugars. See, in some cases, try to understand here. Simple sugars, like monosaccharides, so like glucose, fructose, galactose. So these are all converted into complex sugars. It is complex sugar means it is made up of polysaccharides. Many sugar molecules will be there. Simple sugars, only one molecule of sugar. So here many sugar molecules. So for example, starch. It converts simple sugars into complex sugars. The Golgi apparatus is also involved in involving in the formation or making of lysosomes. Okay. Now we will discuss about what do you mean by lysosomes. Lysosomes, lysosomes. So we will discuss the lysosomes. Lysosomes are a kind of waste disposal system of all the cells, So lysosomes are nothing but they are the waste. All the waste will be there in the lysosomes. This lysosomes helps to keep the cell clean by digesting and foreign material for clean. How? Thereby digesting, keep the cell clean by digesting, and foreign material means any outside material as well as worn out. Worn out means damaged cell organelles, whatever the cell inside the cell, whatever the damaged organelles. So this all will be digesting, or you are saying destroying. Foreign materials entering the cell such as bacteria or food as well as old organelles ends up in the lysosomes because that will digest or destroying them, which breaks them into small pieces. Lysosomes are able to do this because how lysosomes are doing this? Because you know that they contain powerful digestive enzymes. So lysosomes contain powerful digestive enzymes capable of breaking down in organic material. So in that's why that is able to breaking down the organic materials. During the disturbance in the cellular metabolism, during the disturbance means whenever the chemical reaction takes place during the metabolism means chemical reaction takes place in their cells. For example, when the cells gets damaged, lysosomes may be burst or lysosomes breaks. And then what happens? The enzymes digest their own cell. See, you know that when the lysosome bursts, whatever the digestive enzyme is there inside the lysosome in the cell, they will come out and they will kill their own cell, or they will eat their own own cell. They are uses their own cell. So that is why, therefore, the lysosomes are known as the suicide bags of the cell. So this is a very important question. Why lysosomes are called as suicidal bags? So just now I told. Okay. Structurally, lysosomes are membrane-bound sacs. So structurally, if you go for the structural aspect, lysosomes are membrane-bound sacs. Membrane-bound sacs means here what you are saying, vessels, membrane-bound sacs filled with the digestive enzymes. And these digestive enzymes are made by the RER. See, remember, these digestive enzymes are made by the RER. RER means rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, students, we'll discuss mitochondria. Mitochondria. See, mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell. So sometimes asking in the examination, which cell is known as power of the cell? So mitochondria. Why? The energy required for various chemical activities needed for the cell is released by the mitochondria. It is given by the mitochondria in the form of ATP. ATP full form is adenosine triphosphate. How that is, try to understand, students, here. You know that the living organisms need food, then food is changes into glucose, then glucose is moved with the blood, then it reaches to the cell. So then you know that mitochondria is getting the, which one? Glucose. Then the similar manner living things goes for respiration, oxygen moves with the blood and reaches to the mitochondria, and glucose and oxygen reacts with, then the reaction takes place, then ATP is formed, then energy is released, that is we are calling ATP. So in this way, formation of ATP will be takes place. And okay, understood, students? And ATP is known as energy currency of the cell. Whatever the cell activities, the energy supplying is ATP. So that is why it is known as energy currency. The body uses energy stored in the ATP for making new chemical compounds for mechanical work. See, for example, for making the new compounds, chemical compounds, and for mechanical work like running, playing. For all these, energy supplying is needed by the ATP. Mitochondria have two membrane coverings instead of just one. The outer membrane is very porous, so you know that materials can pass through, while the inner membrane is deeply folded like structures. This fold creates a large surface area. So you know that due to the folding structure, lot of chemical reactions takes place, so that much energy is also producing. Mitochondria are strange organelles. So compared to all other organelles, mitochondria is strange in the sense that because they have their own DNA. Until you up to this you know that nucleus has the DNA, proteins, okay, like this. And now you come to know that mitochondria have their own DNA and ribosomes. Therefore, mitochondria are able to make some of their own proteins. Okay, now we move on to plastids. Plastids are present only PLA, STIDs. Plastids are present only in the plant cells. There are two types of the plastids, chromoplasts, the colored plastids, and leucoplasts, white or colorless plastids. Plastids containing the pigment chlorophyll, you know that green, are known as chloroplasts. Chlorophores are important for the, you know that chlorophores are so important for the plants to prepare the food, that is we are calling photosynthesis. Chlorophores also contain various yellow or orange pigments in the addition to the chlorophyll. So they contain yellow or orange color also. Then this one is fruits colors. You know the fruits, due to this fruits colors will be changed, takes place. Leucoplasts are primarily organelles in which materials such as starch, oils and protein granules are stored. So that will be stored in the leucoplasts. The internal organization of the plastids consists of numerous membranes layers. They are embedded in the materials, that embedded means placing one above the other, that is called as stroma. Stroma, stroma. The internal organization of the plastic contains numerous membrane layers embedded in the material, that is called as a stroma. Plastids are similar to the mitochondria in the external structure. So by the external structure, plastids are also similar to mitochondria. Like the mitochondria, plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. So you know that now mitochondria and plastids both are their own DNA and ribosomes. Now we move on to vacuoles. What is vacuoles? Vacuoles are storage sacs, storage bags for solid and liquid contents. Vacuoles are small size in the animal cells, while plant cells they are very large vacuoles, very big size. The central vacuole of some of the plant cells contains occupy 50 to 90% of their cell volume. You know that some of the plant cells, the middle space, the central vacuole consists of 50 to 90. So that is why that will be shows bigger size. In plant cells, vacuoles are full of cell sap, cell liquids, and provide turgidity, swelling. Turgidity means swells up, and rigidity, strength to the cell. Many substances are so important in the life of the plant cell are stored in the vacuoles. So whatever some important in the life plant cells, many substances are stored in the vacuoles. These include amino acids, sugars, and various organic acids, and some proteins also. In single-celled organisms like amoeba, the food vacuole contains the food items that amoeba has consuming. Okay, amoeba is single-celled organisms. Okay, the food vacuole contains food. In some unicellular organisms, specialized vacuoles play an important role for expelling, removing the excess water like waste and some waste from the cell. This is all about the vacuoles. And each cell thus acquires like its structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane. So that is why every cell that acquires its own structures and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane. See, so membrane is so important. Organized, and so due to this organized and special function also will do. The cell thus has a basic structural organization. This helps so due to the membrane and organizations, the cell will do the specific functions. The cell has a thus basic structural organization. This helps the cells to perform functions like respiration, obtaining nutrition, and clearing the waste material or forming the new proteins. Thus, the cell is the fundamental structural unit of organisms. So, why cells? You know that cells, from the cells, it starts, and a group of these tissues, then group of tissues made up of organs, then group of organ system, then so ultimately the structure from the cell. So that is why cell is the fundamental structural unit, and it is also basic function. You know that starting with the cell, then the cell is doing the functions. You know that the group of cells, tissues, then group of tissues, again organs, systems. So like that, ultimately the function start with the cells. So that is why cell is the basic functional unit of life. Okay, clear students? So you have completed lesson number 5. Okay, bye bye. Thank you for joining us.